Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 60 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on today. Gonna hide my door back there because I don't like it in my little video. I know I should be sitting on my exercise ball. This works a whole lot better for background, but I'm being super lazy today. But I did get a little bit of sleep. I stayed up all night last night and apparently tonight too, so I slept during the day. But I actually slept, and it's amazing what a little bit of sleep will do to just improve my mood and my attitude. So even though I didn't really do anything today, I literally didn't do anything today, I feel better, like emotionally, just feel better, just a little bit lighter, and maybe I just needed to take a day or two off, which is frustrating. I want to just keep going and keep going and keep going, but maybe that is part of life, is we have to take a little time off. We have to take a day or two off, and I have a tendency to just push. And the crazy thing is I don't feel like I've been doing that much. I've been doing just little things and trying to push myself to do a little bit more because I'm trying to get better. And I think sometimes I just feel like I'm pushing up against a rock and not going anywhere. And then, of course, no sleep. I am super ornery when I don't get sleep. So yesterday was just super ornery day. I apologize for yesterday. But a little bit of sleep, and I'm feeling better emotionally. Still very, very tired, not motivated to do anything whatsoever. Laid on my couch all day, didn't even care. Um, Woo. Need to do better listening to my body, taking care of myself, sleeping. All things that are easy to say I'm going to do and imagine doing, but the actual doing parts always seems to elude me. It's a lot harder to actually do than to not do. So, yeah, that's kind of that's where I'm at right now. But actually feeling grateful that I got some sleep and grateful to just feel emotionally better, even if I don't feel physically better, even if I don't feel physically energized. I guess I just needed to have a day off or two and just not worry about doing anything. And I guess that's okay to have a day or two off during the week. That's why people work Monday through Friday or 5 days a week, and they take 2 days off, even if it's, you know, weird, like Wednesday to Monday or something. I know people that do that, or Thursday to Tuesday, whatever. Anyway, 2 days off. You get like a day to just run around and do all your errands and catch up for all the stuff you can't do during the week when you're working. And then you get like, Sunday, spiritual day, whatever, to just kind of rejuvenate, regenerate, to feel better and go about the rest of your week to get you emotionally, spiritually boosted to get through the week. And then of course you go to work. So that's that's ideally, I guess, how it's supposed to work. So it's kind of like, okay, but I haven't had my day where I just catch up on stuff around my house and do things and go to work the rest of the week and have my Sundays off. I've been trying to work 6 days a week and then doing a bunch of stuff on Sundays and then getting sick and not being able to do anything and then trying to do too much and wearing myself out and not being able to do anything again and struggling to find the balance. But my whole life has been struggling to find a balance. And as an adult, like even becoming aware of the fact that I need to find a balance. So I know I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm making little changes, and I'm grateful for those little changes. But I also know that I still have days where I feel like I haven't changed at all. Like I'm still stuck wherever it was that or wherever it is that I am, and I forget all the little things to be grateful for, all the progress that I've been making. And so I'm grateful for all the progress that I've been making, and I'm grateful for a couple of days off, and I'm grateful for a little bit of sleep because that was the only thing I kept thinking today was I just feel better today than I did yesterday. There's just something about sleep, and I feel better because I got some sleep. So don't know why I didn't get sleep before, but feeling better because I've had some sleep. And even though I haven't done anything today at all, emotionally I feel a little bit better, and I'm hoping tomorrow I will feel a little bit more physically energized so I can start going to work and doing some things to pay some bills and get back on track, because I need to do that. And I keep saying that, but my body keeps disagreeing with me. So, and then there's that, because that was another frustration I had yesterday, is that my cough feels like it's coming back. And I've been wheezing a little bit. I don't want to be getting sick again, so I don't want to be overdoing it. But then again, everything I want to do is probably overdoing it, which is frustrating to me, because I know I can do more than I've done. But, and obviously getting a little bit of rest, and I've been feeling a whole lot better and not really coughing as much tonight. But that again is, I think that's God reminding me that my ideas in my head as to what I'm going to do this whole week as far as working and doing all the stuff that I have in my head. And I'm like, it's not even a lot of stuff. I'm like, I'll just get up and read my scriptures and meditationals, and I'll do some dishes and some laundry, and I'll go to work for 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll come home and crash, and I won't be able to do anything for 2 or 3 days if I do that. So, which I've already determined that from trying to do that. So, and then I'm like, well, maybe I can just do that every other day. And I don't know until I try. So I just have to wait until I feel like I could do this, and I have to try to push myself. And then today I was thinking I need to get back into, every hour and a half to 2 hours or whatever, just getting up and doing something for like 5 to 10 minutes or half an hour tops, whatever, and then resting for a couple of hours and then getting up again, because that was working for a little bit. It's just my problem is the long haul. Apparently I could do it with my YouTube videos, the long haul, but I have a tendency to do short little bursts of things like that and then just stopping. And part of it is I think my body's still trying to catch up with what my mind is trying to do. So it's just that process of developing the habit of making those changes, and possibly that I'm just overdoing a little bit. So then I wear myself out because I'm not taking it in little strides. And I've been taking it in little strides this past week, and it's been good. And then I just didn't get any sleep for whatever reason. Have some thoughts on that, but don't care to share them. So it just, I think it was just something that happened that just kind of triggered something, old stuff that has nothing to do with the present, but apparently has a tendency to interfere with my ability to sleep. And it's one of those things I think is more subconscious, because it takes me a lot longer to figure it out, to sort it out, do a lot of praying, writing, thinking, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, then this makes sense. But I have to, try to dig it out of my subconscious. It's not one of those consciously I want to keep myself awake and never sleep again kind of a thing. So all of that goes into, being super tired and then super ornery, and then just today, just feeling better and going, yay, and then stuff popping into my head going, oh yeah, maybe stuff that, reason I wasn't sleeping is just triggered by old stuff, and I hate old stuff. I was fine before I did this video, I promise. I don't know where this is coming from. Old stuff, I just need to get out of my system so that I can move forward with my life, because I don't need the old stuff to keep interfering and holding me back. But it's all those old default settings, it's all those triggers of trauma and hurt, and the problem is that I've spent my whole life focusing on all the negative and all the hurt things, and so I grew up in a family of what I call elephant complainers, because they remembered all the horrible things and complained about all the horrible things. And nobody could do anything right. So it was all the bad stuff you did or all the mistakes you made, and they were brought up every time you made another mistake. So it's like you didn't just make the one mistake. You made a whole series of mistakes, which made the one that you did 100 to 1,000 times worse than it should have been, because it was compounded by all of the other mistakes that you've made your entire life. At least that's how I felt. I don't know that it was intentionally put out that way, but that's kind of how I felt, and that's how I've treated myself most of my most of my life, is that I'm this horrible person because I've compounded every mistake to, 100,000 times worse than it really is, because I'm adding it to everything else that I've ever done wrong in my life. And I do the same thing with all the hurt and the pain, and I just connect it all together, and it's 100,000 times worse than it really is, or I make it out to be that much worse than it really is, because I've just compounded everything together like it's all one horrible thing, even, or just all the things that keep happening, patterns of negativity. And the problem is, the realization is that there have been patterns of positivity and good things in my life too. And it's just a matter of where my focus has been. And a lot of the bad things, the traumatic things, were made worse because I wasn't able to talk about them, to share them. I wasn't able to see the good things that were coming out of them. I wasn't taught to look for the good things that were coming out of the trauma and the trials and the other things like that. It was just kind of like, oh, the future will be better. We'll just make the future better because, we can't do anything about the past. But then again, the future is never going to be better because there's always more trials up ahead. And whatever trial you have now is preparing you for the future ones that are going to be even worse than what you have now. I'm not saying any of those things are true. Those are the crazy things that run through my head. And I know life is full of trials and struggles and unexpected things. And some of the unexpected things, some of the things that don't work out in life, are actually for the best, because it opens the door or possibility for something even better that God has in mind. But a lot of times I'm not willing to look for or see the even better, because I'm so focused on the no. I'm so focused on the what didn't work out that I don't see the what did work out, and the positive that's come out of it, or the things that I've learned, or how it's made me a better person, or it's made me stronger somehow, or more resilient. I've lived through, survived, got this far, that I still have my faith in God, that I still know that I'm a daughter of God, that I have worth, that I have value. These are all amazing things to me to be grateful for, especially when I didn't feel that way growing up. I wasn't treated that way, and a lot of times I still don't treat myself like I have value or that I'm precious, but God has always treated me that way, seen me that way, and always sent little miracles, little things to protect me in my life, to prevent me from doing horrible things, or, making the bad not as bad as it is or was. But again, I think I have a tendency to compound everything, to combine everything, to focus on the negative. And I'm so grateful that that's been shifting and that I can see the positive things. But I still struggle to stay in today and not jump to the future, and how I'm going to do all this stuff this week, and all the energy that I'm going to magically have because I'm going to suddenly not be sick anymore, and I'm going to just, push myself right through it. But past experiences taught me that the more I push myself right through it, I wear myself out, and that even when I do little things, I still need to take a day or two off. I still need a reprieve. I still need a break. And everybody needs a break. Everybody needs a reprieve. Everybody needs, even I took a class in college, and they were talking about studies. And they said that sometimes even just switching subjects every hour or two would give your mind a break, because you were thinking about something else, and that it wasn't a good idea to study the same subject for like more than 2 hours at a time, because, your mind would stop absorbing it like after an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you need to focus on something else. You need to switch projects or ideas. Otherwise, you're just kind of zoning out. You're just kind of numb, and it's just words, and it's gonna make it harder to remember or comprehend. So if you're going to study for 4 hours at a time, that's okay. You just need to switch subjects, and you can do, a subject every hour, or 2 subjects, or whatever. Get through 2 or 3 subjects in 4 hours time, because it's good to take a break, to get up, to go to the bathroom, to get a drink, to have a snack, to refuel, and to focus on something different, to give your mind, and it gives your mind a break, even though it's still studying. And oddly, I remember that from a class that was like over 20 years ago. But some things stick in my brain. And I think the same may be true with this process of recovery and getting better, that yes, I try to keep doing repetitious things because it's good to get in consistent habits and order of doing things, but it's good to um, occasionally take a break from that as part of the maintaining somehow, which is weird, but I get going, and I know it's true that if I keep doing it, it just kind of becomes routine and it loses, not that it loses its meaning, but sometimes I just don't feel as connected and I need a break. So changing it up, doing it at a different time of day, and not that I write the same thing in my journal every day, and I read a different day of meditationals and scriptures, so it's not like I'm reading or doing, reading the same things every day. I'm just doing the same things that help me to feel spiritually lifted and emotionally sane most of the time. Not not all of the time, um, but my my brain froze. I'm sorry, but I guess somehow in all of this, I know I need to take a break from all of that, and eventually it'll be easier to do longer stints. It's kind of, it's also the whole building up the muscles and getting used to things, and eventually some of those things I'll just be able to do, and it'll be like rote repetition things. And sometimes the hard part about that was doing that rote repetition is that sometimes I take it for granted, or it kind of feels like it's losing its meaning, like I'm not getting the same thing out of it because I do it all the time. But then when I stop doing it, I can definitely feel the difference, because it makes me because it does make a difference in my attitude and how I feel when I do those things every day. And I do feel worse when I don't. So just like doing these videos always seems to make me feel a little bit better, and helps to put things in a different perspective. If nothing else, these videos kind of force me to see my growth, see my changes in my life, to see the different perspectives that I have compared to what I grew up with, and that I do have a lot more positive responses and reactions to things. So I'm doing a lot better with that. And the fact that emotionally I feel better, I was only totally crabby, I think, for one day. But it only took one day instead of like 2 days or 2 weeks or a whole month or something. So, and not that anything in my life is perfect or will ever be perfect, but I am I'm learning, and I'm grateful that I can continue to learn, and that I don't have to beat myself up, and that I can feel some relief from getting a little bit of sleep or from taking a day off. It kind of regenerates my motivation to do better. Because I guess I burn out really easily, which is kind of dumb, but um, maybe it's not dumb because I didn't grow up being in a consistent home. I didn't grow up with it being something to do every day. It's not embedded in me as something to do, as something that I'm having to learn. It's habits I'm having to develop, which is, easy to get burned out on things like that, or to get burned out on repetitious things. I don't know. I think I'm rambling at this point, because I know I always go back to reading my scriptures and meditationals and writing in my journal and doing my stories. And it's not that I need to stop doing those things, but I'm just I'm just in the process of getting back into the habit of rebuilding those muscles. And even when you do exercise, I think they tell you have to alternate. It's best to alternate exercises if you're going to exercise more than like 5 or 6 days a week, and then it actually is good to like take a day or two off even when you're exercising. So even if you exercise 6 days a week and take a day off, you're still supposed to alternate exercises, because it's better for your body, because you're giving the muscles kind of a day off in between. So I've heard all of these things. So it makes sense that I need to give myself a break. And this is my justification video, apparently. It's not meant to be justifying. It's just, I feel like I say stuff and then it sounds like it's bad. And I'm like, stuff that I'm trying to do isn't bad. And it's not hard, or at one point in my life it wasn't hard. But right now it seems to be hard. And And when I don't get sleep, it's even harder, and I'm just more ornery. And I got some sleep, and I'm feeling a little bit better emotionally, and looking forward to getting some more sleep and being motivated to get back into doing things, because I want to continue to do things. I want to continue to progress. Um, I want to get to the point where I stop fighting myself on doing things. But it helps me. It helps me to accept that it's a good thing to take a day off every once in a while. It's a good thing. It's an okay thing to skip doing the stuff that I would normally do just because I'm having an off day. And sometimes it's better to do that stuff when I'm having an off day because it'll pull me out of the off day. Like if I'm having an off day, sometimes reading my scriptures and meditationals makes me feel better, or doing some writing makes me feel better because I can write about whatever's bugging me. But when I don't know what it is, or when I'm just really tired, I just really don't care, like yesterday. And so today I just chose not to do anything, but I didn't feel bad about it today. I actually felt okay about it, and I'm looking forward to doing stuff tomorrow. Hopeful about doing stuff tomorrow, I should say. Really hopeful about doing more stuff. Oh, I don't know what my body's doing. It's driving me crazy. So I'm gonna try to get some sleep, try to figure out what my body's doing and what it will let me do tomorrow. But overall, I can't say today was a bad day. And I'm grateful that whatever ornery, tired mood that I had yesterday did not roll into today. So that makes me feel a little bit better, because I feel like I'm emotionally getting better, which hopefully means physically I will be getting better. Still trying. And not that I feel physically ill all the time, I just feel physically exhausted all the time, which is just seriously frustrating. But it is something I have to continue to fight against, work towards, building up that energy. And if I just lay around and do nothing, I will never have energy. So I have to start doing things to have energy to do more things. I just don't know how long it takes to get that energy back. So I'm impatient, very impatient too. So anyway, I feel like I'm rambling and going in circles, and I'm not sure if today made any sense, but if it did, if it was helpful to you, or if it was entertaining in any way, shape, or form, you can hit like, subscribe, or share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe do some writing.